So okay, so recommendations for taking care of the yoni. Like, what are your recommendations for that? Say it like it is.
Okay. Y'all kids better not be in the room. Stop fucking with fuck boys. Stop allowing men to come inside of you that do not care for themselves. Really, like that is the foundation. Caring for your womb,
Mhm.
intentional being with your womb. Don't
Yeah.
be disconnected from it. Embrace it. Like look at your blood, see how it's feeling. Like give yourself abdominal massages, but also like I think that we're in an era that's obsessed with like this good pussy movement. And I want to just say
Mhm.
that, like part of good pussy is not like the literal pussy. It's the energy that's attached to the pussy. Like what is your energy like? What
Yes.
energy work are you doing that you're bringing forth to like pass along through your womb because whether we want to believe it or not, we're giving all kind of messages with our vagina and everybody that shares space with us, right?
Ooh, yes.
It's always communicated. And so one, like set boundaries for your vagina. If you're messing with your guy, say, hey, can you wash your hands before you touch me down there? We're scared to say those things. We're scared to be like, oh man, like, bro, this man just fixed the car. He got mechanic
Clean your
oil
nails.
all under his nails, and here he comes trying to rub on me, and I'm too scared to say, hey, can you wash your hands? So one, like, wash your hands, examine it, look at it with the mirror, know
Yeah.
what's your normal, what's going on
Yes.
down there, what does it look like, what's your discharge like typically, because then when we start learning our discharge, we know when we're fertile. If we're not trying to get pregnant, then it teaches us when not to have sex, right? Because our discharge is going to change every day throughout the cycle, and there's going to come a point where it's very stringy and stretchy, and you're like, oh no, today's the day that I can't give you no booty because I ain't trying to have a baby, or
Whoa.
today is the day that we can do it because we want to bring forth the baby.
Mhm.
Um, Also, being aware, like how much water are you drinking? How much water is your partner drinking before you're letting somebody climax inside of you? Because that literally can be the life and death cycle in the vagina of like letting somebody that's trifling, having random unprotected sex with a lot of people, you're gonna open yourself up to have a lot of vaginal health issues, right?
Yeah.
Those are all things. Obviously, what we eat is really, really important, but I'm not here to talk about good food, bad food. We know what quality food is,
Yeah.
right? We're not talking about like fried chicken and pizza and hamburgers. We're talking about like whole, complete foods is going to make a difference in how we feel in our wombs.
Right. Right. Right.
Also,
Damn.
I want to say that if you have
Yes.
trauma, if you have issues, if you have anything, holding space for that and acknowledging that and finding a way to speak about that is going to be something that's very freeing. That could be talking to your best friend, that could be talking to your mama, that could be writing down, like, man, when I was a kid, this happened to me and I feel like this. And when that happened, it made me feel like this. And this is the ways that I feel like it's showing up in my life and making a concrete
Mhm.
plan to like tackle those things because
Mhm. Mhm.
the womb of the black woman is the most traumatized womb in the world, and we have to turn that around.
Right. Yeah. Especially because that correlation between our womb and our minds, like they are the same. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so we will play out that trauma cycle if we're not acknowledging it, if we're not doing the work. So that's so real. That shadow work is important, and we cannot like sidetrack that. Like you said, even you said so that should go on a shirt, girl. That whole like what you say, good pussy movement, like that, and not even understanding the levels of in which that is. That's so important. Someone said, "What is the best way to track your cycle?" That's a good one.
The easiest is the cycles of the moon. When am I bleeding? What is the moon doing? So that you could just look up and be like, okay, yeah, not yet. There's a whole bunch of apps and stuff that you can use. Also, you can use a paper calendar. I like a paper calendar just because I can like say what's going on with me. Like, hey, started my cycle, bleeding this color, having cramps on this side, did this, felt better. So then I can kind of track what's going on between my cycle and like my mood, my cycle, and how it's progressing or how I can compare them to each other.
Yeah. You know what though? When you were speaking about the discharge and you know looking at your discharge throughout your cycle, like, duh, I don't. You know, it's like you said it. We complicate things so much, and it's like it's so simple. We're doing all this extra stuff to not get pregnant or to get pregnant, and it's like you can literally track yourself if you know yourself.
Yeah,
It's
and it's like we don't want to touch it, we don't want to engage with her, and so like there's this disconnect. But you should be looking like, okay, What is
Yep.
this like? Smell it. Like, am I smelling smithy? Am I fishy right now? Because
Yes.
if it is, I need to
For
do something. I
real.
need to give me some boric acid suppositories to get rid of this baby. But you need to touch it, like, and then you'll start to see like, oh, this is stringy like egg yolk. Wow, like yeah, non-fertile. You have to know you're normal. You have to watch your cycle and know you're normal. Because if
Yeah.
nobody knows your womb, how you gonna expect for somebody to show up and be the expert of your womb? It's yours. You have to master that.
Ooh, that's so good. You have to master that. Yeah. That's a part of it. It's a part of that mastering.